Everybody watch the clip. Tell me, what is the story?
All right.
It's that guy.
Who's that man? Ooh, it's Ireland because it's green.
TSA. Okay, this is any airport in America right now, and that's gas.
Yeah.
And that guy is fucked.
We're painted into a corner in Iran?
Also, I mean, it seems like a big story. You got gas prices, you got the Strait of Hormuz, you got the airports, you got all kinds of stuff. Nish, what do you
I'd like to start by saying that I'm here on a work visa. So I just want to be incredibly clear. I am going to be telling people that I'm Kash Patel's nephew.
Can you do the eyes, though? You got to do the eyes. The story is, with Iran fighting back and global economic catastrophe looming, it seems that President Trump has painted himself into a bit of a corner with this war, I guess we're still calling it.
It's an excursion.
Whatever the hell you want to call it. It is definitely a war we have already won, right? Or look, here's Caroline Levitt on Wednesday summing it up.
President Trump does not bluff, and he is prepared to unleash hell. Any violence beyond this point will be because the Iranian regime refused to understand they have already been defeated.
Well, yay.
Doesn't that sound like a threat from, like, Bane from Batman?
Yeah.
You refuse to understand. You have already been defeated.
Hey, watch that accent, Roy. My culture is not your costume.
Okay. Well, it's a little unclear on whether or not we've won the war or not, but coming into this week, Trump backed himself into a corner. How did he get himself out of that corner this week?
He said, if you don't open the Strait of Hormuz in 48 hours, I'm going to bomb the shit out of you and all your energy stuff. And they were like, yeah, okay, bro. And then 48 hours later, he was like, you know what? We're going to give it 5 days. And then yesterday, he was like, you know what? We're going to give it 10 days because negotiations are going so well.
Yeah.
He's not negotiating with anybody.
You know what he should say is, have you heard about the Epstein files or something? Let's get back to those.
Why would that be a problem with the president posting that he's having negotiations with?
Because it's not true?
Not true.
Double points. Because it might not have been true.
Iran state TV says that Trump capitulated. There are no direct or indirect talks taking place with the Trump regime.
I'm not thrilled that I trust Iranian state TV more than I trust my president. I believe them. I don't believe him.
Our president insists that this deal is very real.
They want very much to make a deal. We'd like to make a deal, too. If it goes well, we're going to end up with settling this. Otherwise, we'll just keep bombing our little hearts out.
Now, to the people in the relationship up here on the panel, is that an effective negotiating strategy? Let's work this out or I will blow up our home.
Are we taking relationship advice from Donald Trump? Isn't being in a relationship the only thing he's worse at than being president?
But yes, according to the president, if you don't take the deal, we will blow up the table. Or as Pete Hegseth put it the next day,
we negotiate with bombs. The president has made it clear that you will not have a nuclear weapon. The War Department agrees. Our job is to ensure that. And so we're keeping our hand on that throttle as long as hard as is necessary.
That's right. As long and as hard, you keep your hand on that long and hard throttle. And if that throttle's hard for more than 4 hours, you call a doctor.
Whenever I see Hegseth and Trump together on TV, I always think, yeah, this is a declining empire. And to be fair, I've come from a declining empire.
Well, to be fair, you come from a fully declined empire.
And let me tell you, lean into the decline, baby. Let it all hang out.
Well, we don't know for sure who's negotiating on the Iranian side. Here's who's involved in the deal on our side.
JD is involved, and Marco's involved, and Jared Kushner's involved, very smart guy, and Steve Witkoff, smart guy, is involved. And I'm involved. I'm involved. Why? I'm going to be so big. Oh, I don't want to talk about it. I'm the president of the United States, Tom.
Did it seem like he was surprised that he was involved?
Just received the news.
Out of that cast of characters in Trump's cabinet, who does the Iranian government want to talk with the most?
Vance.
I don't think anyone has ever wanted to talk to J.D. Vance, and I would include his wife and children in that list.
Here's the answer.
We're hearing from sources at CNN who tell my colleague, Kylie Atwood, that Iran has actually expressed a preference for engaging in talks with the vice president, J.D. Vance. One of the sources told us that the perception is that Vance would be intent on wrapping up the conflict more so than the other officials.
Also, J.D. Vance is the most likely to become the new American Ayatollah, so it does make some sense.
You know for a fact that they insist on having J.D. Vance because they want to see if his head is really that size. They're going to be like, hey, welcome, try this hat on. A little snug, right?
He's a one-man argument against the concept of white supremacy.
Now, our administration is saying that the war is starting to ramp down. They say that the Iranian excursion is almost over. Question, though, what signs are happening right now that might indicate that we're still at war?
Bombs?
Bombs.
What comes after the bombs?
Didn't they send another 10,000 troops?
True.
Points right there, yes.
The Wall Street Journal reports that the Pentagon is weighing sending another 10,000 U.S. ground troops to the Middle East. That's according to Department of Defense officials with knowledge of the planning.
Yeah, because we won. We're going to have the ticker tape parade with all those troops in the middle of Tehran, and they're all going to be greeting us like liberators.
Our president has sent the troops, but surely he has a good reason for sending the troops. He knows more about the conflict than anyone. How does our president get his daily updates about what is happening in Iran?
So he has folded up a cootie catcher. And then when you come in, he asks you your favorite color and then number, and then he flips that open, and that will tell him what has happened.
Military officials make Trump a video update that shows the biggest, most successful strikes, which typically runs for about 2 minutes and mostly shows clips of stuff blowing up.
Yeah. I'm actually surprised he can pay attention for 2 minutes.
I know. I had the under on that mug. 2 minutes, that's pretty great.
He's 100% watching that on the toilet. I'm sorry to tell you. There is no way that man is not watching that.
He's getting a video compilation of a war that has the potential to reshape the entire world that lasts shorter than the top 10 highlights on SportsCenter.
But once again, from a visa perspective, I think that is very smart, and it frees him up to think about other things in the day.
So on Thursday, the president said Iran is still begging to make a deal.
They are begging to make a deal, not me. They're begging to make a deal. The Iranian regime is now admitting to itself that they have been decisively defeated. They're saying to people, this is a disaster.
Let's get back to the whole war thing now. In the midst of all of this back and forth of whether or not we're winning the war, losing the war, whether or not there is a war, Iran has found a new weapon to fight back against America and Trump specifically. Question, what is Iran's new weapon
against
Trump? Oh, videos, those
war?
crazy videos, those crazy AI videos.
Hey, Trump, you are fired. You are familiar with this sentence. Thank you for your attention to this matter.
Thank you for your attention to this matter. Do you think Trump just think that was Mom Donnie from New York City? Here's another Iranian video trolling Trump.
And they did it using his favorite toy, Legos.
Lean into the decline, America. Join us in the expired military powers pile.
Yeah, this week's Golden Slot Bucket for biggest mess at home goes to America's airports.
Americans suffer hours-long wait times at some of the nation's largest airports.
Sneaking around 3 different floors.
Probably about a quarter of a mile from the main checkpoint area.
The line continues to go.
What is the problem with the airports right now?
They aren't paying TSA.
So then TSA workers aren't showing up.
Or they quit.
The TSA has been on the verge of a total meltdown for over a month thanks to congressional failure to pass DHS funding. But in the wee hours of Friday morning, the Senate approved funding for most of DHS, The Senate wakes up Friday morning, they go, we're gonna pay TSA, we're not gonna give more money to ICE. House has to just do the same thing, everybody gets paid. How do you think the House voted?
They didn't and then went on vacation.
Oh, shit.
New legislature, who dis?
Double points. The Republicans said, not in this House.
Breaking news in the fight to fund the Department of Homeland Security. Just last hour, Republican House Speaker Mike Johnson railed against the bill that unanimously passed in the Republican-led Senate overnight.
One of Mike Johnson's issues with the funding package was that it didn't include funding for ICE, who, mind you, is already flush with cash thanks to last year's big, beautiful bill. Here's Johnson.
The Republicans are not going to be a party to this. They have taken hostage the funding processes of government so that they can impose their radical agenda on the American people, and we can't have any part of it.
Yes, the radical agenda of paying TSA workers.
You know, he's going to make a great contestant on Dancing with the Stars.